You would suggest somebody rent where they live and own property that pays them their rent.
Absolutely. That's what I did. Put your capital into real estate and make money off of it and ultimately live rent free. To buy a home in this country from 2019 to today, it's gone up 2.5 times.
Yeah.
So your buying power is 2.5 times less.
Rents have not moved that much.
No. And so
right.
you can rent and live better.
All right, so let's talk about this because real estate is a big wealth builder. And more importantly, as a real estate investor and not a primary residence homeowner, it's a big wealth builder because of the tax code. Okay, a lot of people, when they think about being a landlord, they think about cash flow, right? Rents, right? What are you going to have left over at the end of every month after your expenses are paid? They think about, well, if I get bad tenants or the property needs maintenance and I don't want to be bothered. The truth is, you're going to be bothered in life anyway, right? At work, at home, the kids, family, you're going to be bothered. You have to do things you don't want to do anyways. So why not do them to build your bottom line? For those of you just joining me, Natasha Barella, 20 years total in audit, accounting, and tax, 13 in the large business and international division of the Internal Revenue Service. I'm a former revenue agent. I am a real estate investor and business owner. I teach people how to build wealth through the United States tax code because that is the blueprint to wealth in the United States. The tax code, okay? The reason why people will tell you start a business, become a landlord, invest in this stock or that stock, it's all through the tax code. That's why. And there is a hierarchy in the tax code. And oftentimes we start from the bottom, which is our wages, and we work our way up, and we should be starting from the top and working our way down. But yes, we do need our wages. Most of us need our wages. So I'm here to tell you to take your wages and invest at the top of the hierarchy in the tax code because that's, again, how you will build wealth inevitably. So this discussion about renting versus owning, purchasing property that produces cash flow, and then renting instead of purchasing your own property. The reality is the cash flow from your rentals can pay for your primary residence or your rental, right? If you're a renter instead of an owner, you can be an investor and still rent. I did it. I did it because it gave me flexibility. I didn't have to stay in one place. I just had to wait for the lease to be over. I can go anywhere I want. And that's what a lot of people who are wealth builders, serial entrepreneurs, people who are, exponentially wealthy, they keep themselves flexible. They don't tie themselves down to one place. Now, I have a primary residence, but my cash flow pays for my primary residence, and I still get the benefits, the secondary benefits of my deductions, but not as much as my rentals. Rentals give you exponentially more advantage than your primary residence, okay? So I don't want to talk about rent versus equity in a property. I want to talk about the tax side because the tax side is where you really gain a lot of wealth in real estate. People who don't like real estate, people who don't want to be landlords, there are billionaires, millionaires who don't like managing real estate or owning real estate, but they do because they know it has to be part of your portfolio to build wealth, right? Now, my foundation is audit. My expertise is tax, okay? Audit is about not, you can't reduce your risk to zero, but you can get it as close to zero as possible, meaning try and remove as much risk. So the tax side of real estate, and I'll give you an example. In 2022, I purchased 4 more properties because that was going to be the last year of what we call 100% bonus depreciation. And that basically gave me over $400,000 in phantom expenses, but those phantom expenses offset real dollars, right? I'm a real estate professional via the tax code. You don't need a real estate license. Please click the link in the bio, join my free live training, or you can visit the last live training on my YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. So let's talk about rentals. Tax flow is far greater than your cash flow, right? So I save so much money in taxes because of my rentals, right? Not my primary residence, because of my rentals that I offset real dollars. Unlike appreciation, where you have to actually sell your property before you can realize the actual monies that you gained and calculate your gains minus the money you put into the property, right? I can hold on to my property and still produce cash flow and still offset real tax dollars. That's where the wealth is in real estate. And so I know people who don't want to be landlords, but the fact is, if you want to get in on wealth, you have to diversify your portfolio. We hear that all the time. I don't always enjoy being a landlord. Things break everywhere, right? You just have to fix it. Just like things will get broken at work, right? Or a process needs to be handled at work. Things come up at work. You still have to handle it. So if you're going to be aggravated, you might as well be aggravated for something that you're invested in that can build a lot of equity and wealth on your bottom line, because that's what real estate really does. There's more benefits on the tax side than the front end, which is the cash flow. Okay, you save more money on tax than you do on the front end for cash flow. For those of you who are afraid to be a landlord, again, I am an auditor. I'm always about reducing risk. We can't get it to zero, but we can go as close as possible. I have lease protection insurance. I require my tenants to have it before they move in if they're applying. This filters out all of tenants that don't have any good intentions. It keeps the quality of my tenants top tier, and they are top tier. Shout out to all my tenants. And I take it instead of security deposit. This way, all they have to do, all that happens is if somebody stops paying rent, I gain possession of the unit, and then I am paid back any back rent plus any rent moving forward on a lease. So as long as I don't re-rent the unit, which we always try to re-rent the unit, right? You must prove that you are trying to re-rent the unit. So I always protect myself on the back end. Any damages are handled by my homeowner's insurance, right? We're all afraid of premiums going up, but that's what it's for. My homeowner's insurance for renters will pay me out for any damages that are done and any loss of rent. So not only do I get the rent from my lease protection insurance, but I get coverage for any damages through my homeowner's insurance, okay? And I get a payout for a loss of rent for the month for market rate. So there really isn't a reason not to invest in real estate. This is not only a real estate page, this is a tax page, but real estate is one of the heavy hitters in the tax code, as well as business ownership. If you want to learn more, go ahead and click the link in my bio and join me for my free live training, or you can hit the notification bell on my YouTube channel and visit my last free live training on my YouTube channel. And I hope to see you in the Tax Strategies Mastermind, where I have thousands of students who have saved probably over about 50 million in taxes in the last a year or two. So I hope to be your coach, your mentor, and your cheerleader. For those of you who don't think there's legal ways, I myself, a former revenue agent, was audited for 2022. I had no tax, no penalty, no adjustment. So I have proof, I have receipts. I am what I teach. So I hope to see you there.